Hello, everybody. My name is Sanaika, and today I will present to you my intervention plan project. We're going to go over the identification of a problem or the target behavior, the ethical considerations, 3 literature reviews, the functional behavior assessments, the treatment package, and the baseline treatment data. And we're going to use a graph for the treatment data. Okay, so the identification of the problem. The target behavior is sugar consumption when working on multiple tasks. When working on multiple tasks, I engage in eating high sugary foods like cookies and brownies. You know, all of those really good, yummy foods. However, when access to these sugary foods is not available, I get headaches and anxious. This target behavior was selected because it's not healthy, it's an unhealthy habit, and it is interfering with how I work and how I feel during the day. Okay, when working on behavior that has to do with food, we must be very careful and keep in mind to respect the autonomy and do no harm. We want to be sure that we respect what the client wants and the client's needs, and be sure that we are not harming by keeping the person from eating or feeling hungry. But the reason, for these reasons, the client was prompted to change her eating schedules to have 3 meals a day and 3 snacks throughout the day. Also, the sessions were scheduled after these meals, any of these meals. And these helped because it didn't give me an excuse for saying, oh, I haven't had lunch, I'm hungry, I need to go to the vending machine, or I didn't have any breakfast, I need to go and get something from the kitchen. And that helped a lot. So the literature review. It was very difficult to find behavioral articles related to my target behavior. I have one article and 2 that are studies. The first article is academic related factors and emotional eating. And on this article, they talk about how we need a clear understanding of the link between stress and obesity, and how emotional eating may be often overlooked, and the increase of food intake in response to negative emotion, otherwise known as emotional eating, has been established as a common response. Emotional eating, comfort eating, and stress-induced eating are terms to describe the repeated response of consuming food to cope with unpleasant psychological emotion. The second article here is one of the studies, and it is the stress-induced eating and food preferred by humans. In this article, it talked about psychological stress and how it can produce multiple behavior abnormalities, including overeating. This article talks about a study using rats and humans and how their eating habit changes when they are stressed. Also, how this study suggests that younger individuals, while more stressed, they tend to eat less when they are stressed, and how they prefer more salty foods over sweets, which is not my case. I do prefer sweet fruits instead of the salty. And the last article here is also a study, and this one is increased emotional eating behaviors in children with autism. And it talks about between males and females and the link in their in what they eat. This study examines emotional link over and under eating. Children with autism spectrum disorder were related as an exhibiting both more emotional overeating and more emotional under-eating behaviors than their typical developing peers, and how among all children with autism spectrum disorder, emotional overeating was linked with the increased consumption of sweet foods and the decreased consumption of vegetables. And this article also talks about how when children in the ASD, they tend to reach more for those sweet foods than those salty those salty foods when they are under stress or when they have a high um, demands, and they do reach for the sweet food instead. And for that, therefore, they have a decrease in the consumption of more healthy food like vegetables. Okay, so the functional behavior assessment. So the functional behavior assessment, I use direct observation. I also use the ABC reports, and here's the ABC report that I wrote. And operational definition of the behavior. It is defined as any instance that an eye engages in sugar consumption when working on multiple tasks. The target behavior will be measured by frequency. The intervention steps will include review and behavior expectations, teaching the client to reach for other snacks instead of sugary snacks, and to take breaks when feeling overwhelmed. Also, offering specific praise when the client meets behavior expectation. The hypothesis is that an eye engages in walking away from work area when working in multiple tasks to escape and or task avoidance. And here's the data collected. And the the behaviors are escape and task avoidance. And if we go back here to the ABC report, it's very clear that when I'm working in multiple tasks, when I feel overwhelmed, I take a break because I feel hungry. And I'm hungry, I'm gonna get a snack from the vending machine. I go to the kitchen door or to the vending machine at work, and I spend there an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours, she's chatting with a coworker and having a snack because I'm hungry. In reality, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm stressed out from all of the things that I'm doing at once, instead of taking a break and then going back to the task. So the treatment package. The target behavior is to decrease the sugar consumption by working on multiple tasks. The function the function of the behavior is task avoidance and escape. The intervention is antecedent-based intervention, making changes to the setting to address the problem behavior, eliminating triggers for the problem behaviors, and providing more opportunities to display the replacement behavior, and having visual support. And for this one, I added a sticky notes on the computer, on the screen of the computer saying, is it time to take a break? Remember, one task at a time. I also in the morning wrote a to-do list with all of the things that I should do throughout the day, and assigned to each task a time. And that helped a lot to keep me on track and to make sure that I was doing one task at a time instead of doing everything that I was supposed to be doing at once. When presented with multiple tasks, I will complete the assigned task. I will take a 10-minute break when I feel overwhelmed. So the point is just one task at a time. And the client will select fruit and or vegetables instead of any sugary foods. I feel overwhelmed by multiple tasks, so therefore I will eliminate possible triggers by only having one task at a time on my desk and on my computer. So for this one, what I did is to I cleaned out my desk, the top of my desk, and removed everything everything. I only left my to-do list and like the schedule for that to-do list. The same for the computer. And what I did was to have only that task that I was supposed to be doing at that time on top of my desk and on the computer. And that helped to keep me on track. Having choices, which of these tasks I would like to start first. And this goes back to the visual support of having that to-do list. And this helped me to do, okay, so this is all that I have to do. Now, which I'm gonna do first, and then second, and third, and so on. And assigning a time frame for each task. So when I feel overwhelmed, I engage in eating sugary foods. And so this one was a tricky one. And so what I did was I removed all of the sugary items from the workspace and from home, and we'll replace them with fruit and a vegetable. And the client will have 3 meals, 3 snacks, and plus, plenty of water throughout the day. For reinforcement, I use a token bar, and for every instance that the clients reach out for fruit and or vegetables instead of any sugary snacks during the sessions, we receive social reinforcement. However, for every 30 minutes during the session that the client does not reach for sugary foods, we receive a token. And if at the end of the 4-hour session, the client has an A token, the client will have access to one snack from the snack basket. And in the snack basket, I had a, different type of sugar snack, chocolate, a brownie, maybe a soda, stuff like that. It was a big snack basket. And I added this one, when the client receives any sugar snack from family members and or coworkers, and the client saves the sugar treats, the client receives an extra token. And this was added at the beginning of the experiment because I noticed that, and we're going to see that in the graph, that even though I removed all of the sugary snacks from my office, and from home, I was still eating them. And I was eating them not because I had them, it was because I was receiving them. And instead of, putting them away I opened the bag of M&Ms or gummies, because we have that so accessible to us. So I opened that bag of M&Ms or gummies or the chocolate bar, and chit chat with a coworker while eating because I was hungry. It's time for a break to eat as an excuse, right? So I added this later. There was something that I add later on throughout the experiment, and it worked. And you'll see it later in the graph how this helped a lot. Adding that extra token there. And the differential reinforcements, for example, since the client has a history of eating sugary foods when working on multiple tasks and these sugary items were removed from the client's workspace, but instead the client is reinforced by selecting healthy food choices. Okay, and this is the summary of the baseline and treatment data. And here's the baseline where we started, between 40 and about 34. That's how we started. And then here's when we went 30. We went up and down, and then we went down, and then we went up again. And this is where I added that extra token to help me place that sugar snack back in the snack basket. And I ended up with I still have a very large snack basket in the office. And I told everybody, come and get the M&Ms and the gummies and take them with you. But I have a big snack basket But here I added that and that helped a lot, helped a lot to add that there. And then we went down to 20 and 10 and 5, and we are all the way down here, and it's still working. I do still keep track of what I eat throughout the day and to see how if I can keep it up, and still it's working, and still in the low, very low numbers here, not like 40, having 40 snacks a day. That's sugar snacks throughout the day. That's a lot of sugar. So it did work, and I'm very happy. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. I will add as a PDF the articles because they're very interesting. The studies are very interesting, and I hope you guys can read it and enjoy it. So thank you very much. Have an awesome day. Bye.